Hey there, baseball fans. Nathan Rohde and Shooter Hunt here with the latest episode of Coffee and Curveballs. Shooter, last week we had guys all over the country, including you and myself, and we saw a lot of draft arms. So we're going to do a roundup today of some of those guys that we saw.
Just a few in here because we were seeing so much all across the country. We're going to have a jam-packed spring. Can't wait.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to come. But let's start off with you. Your week basically started with Jackson Cox, who is a big-time spin king, and the first outing you saw out of him did not disappoint.
Yeah, it was an efficient 61 pitches in 5 innings with 9 strikeouts. It was 90 to 92 throughout. Ball hops through the zone with some arm side life. But like you said, that spin king with that breaking ball, which was 3,100 plus for the majority of the outing, it's a true plus pitch. I think it has a chance to be a real wipeout weapon for him. He also flashed some solid changeups, which makes me believe he has a chance to be a starter moving forward. An athletic kid in the mound. I was a huge fan of the Oregon recruit.
hmm You think that slider we're talking about maybe one of, if not the best breaking ball in the high school class 2022?
I'm definitely gonna have to go down the line. I think it definitely has a chance to be up there, if not the top one.
Nice, excellent stuff. Looking forward to seeing more of that throughout the season. But I saw Robby Snelling. Speaking of
Mm.
good breaking balls, his was inconsistent, but it still flashed some nasty break late and depth to the pitch. Once he got it going, that thing was definitely a swing and miss pitch. Threw it for strikes, threw it as a chase pitch. But we also saw him throw a ton of strikes with a fastball. If that velo ticks up for him throughout the spring, Shooter, I think we're looking at a slam dunk top 50 type pick out of
Oh
him.
wow. Just throw that big linebacker recruit some tough games. I'm sure
Yeah.
he'll rise to the level of the occasion.
Yeah, he certainly will. A linebacker recruit, too. He's a heck of an athlete. Saw him hop off the mound, make a really good play. So sign me up for that guy. But you stuck in Washington, obviously Jackson Cox, but you guys also got to see J.R. Ritchie as well. Had an electric start to his season, first outing. Second one, not quite as electric, but a really good matchup with Dominic Hellman. And really kind of showing us that, like, while he does have that high ceiling with his stuff, he also has a pretty high floor, too.
Yeah, UCLA recruit. What I like about both he and Cox, they both hit in the 3 hole. So obviously some athletic kids there.
Yeah.
But it was their 8th game in 10 days for Bainbridge Island, and Ritchie actually went to shortstop right after he was done with the outing. But
Mhm.
94 to 96 against Hellman, came back down more 90 to 92, and then 88 to 90 in the final few batters. But solid slider. It wasn't as much in command of that. It was dropping in for strikes, but it was not a plus pitch, more average to below in this look, but a solid changeup. The changeup stood out for the couple of times that he threw it in the game. Still struck out 7 guys in 3 1/3 with just 3 hits and an unearned run. So that kind of talks about his high floor and just how much we think about him. That in a game where he strikes out 7 of the 10 outs, we still think it's a so-so outing.
Yeah, it certainly says a lot about the player and his talent. And tell you what, man, Washington's always got good talent, but the 1-2 punch of Ritchie and Cox this spring, it's a lot of fun to follow.
Oh, without a doubt, it's just a Pacific Northwest arms race.
It certainly is. So, out on the East Coast, we've got Caden Dana, who your brother saw. Speaking of spin wins, this guy can really spin it. And I saw in the tweet that your brother put out, he's added a slider, which that curveball is pretty good. That guy adding a slider, that's just unfair.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about Caden Dana, who at 6'5", 225, Mr. Quadzilla himself on the bump, Kentucky recruit, but was up to 96. I think the fastball, talking with TJ there in New Jersey, has even more life to it, kind of that late ride and run to the bottom of the zone. Obviously, that big break in 12-6 curveball, but with that slider, the chance to get in on lefties, get in and out of the zone, going away from right-handers, I think that could be key, especially with you going to see him against one of the best teams in the country in Buford next week.
Yeah, I'll be in North Carolina for the NHSI. Don Bosco versus Buford in the first round. So a little Dylan Lesko versus Caden Dana. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that in terms of
Yeah, I'll
pitching
tell you one
matchups.
thing: those Jersey boys won't be scared.
No, they won't. It's gonna be that'll be a highly contested game. It'll be a lot of fun to watch.
Mm.
But that's plenty of love for the pitchers. Let's talk some hitters with Bomb Squad, and we're going with an uncommitted theme Shooter. Every guy that we talk about in Bomb Squad today is currently still on the recruiting market. I'll lead it off with Amari Allen from Maryland, putting the go-ahead shot here for Sherwood High School.
And then catcher Bryce Neville's hitting this tank fresh off the directors list. Check it out.
Nice stuff. And you got Connor Cosby, excuse me, off to a stellar start this year, going left on left here.
And don't sleep on West Monroe there in northern Louisiana, state champion sleeper, left-handed hitter Nolan Norris going deep.
Excellent. And also at the NHSI, I will see Hanover High School out of Virginia. They are loaded with all kinds of guys, but they still got Cole Elrod out there uncommitted, and he hammers this 3-run home run for the loaded Hanover squad. So be sure to check him out. But appreciate everyone tuning in today. As always, for Shooter Hunt, I'm Nathan Rohde. This was Coffee and Curveballs. And until next time, we'll see you guys at the ballpark.